Look around you. Take a moment. What do you see? Do you see limitations? Do you see the walls of what is, stopping you from what could be? We all face them, don't we? Those moments, those phases in life where we feel stuck, where we're running on empty, facing rejection, battling self-doubt. We're in beta mode, a work in progress, unfinished. And sometimes it feels like we might never get to boss mode, never truly dominate our circumstances, never reach that peak, that empire we dream of building. But what if I told you that the very personification of boss mode, a global icon, a titan of industry, a man whose smile lights up a room and whose presence commands billions, once lived in that beta state? What if the blueprint to go from broken, and beaten down to building a billion-dollar empire wasn't a secret formula, but a series of deliberate choices, relentless grit, and an unwavering belief in a future that, for a long time, seemed impossible? Today, we're not just telling a story, we're dissecting a blueprint. We're diving deep into the mind, the grind, and the unshakable spirit of a man who defines the very essence of from beta to boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Get ready, because his journey isn't just about wrestling, acting, or business. It's about how to train your mind to win when the odds are stacked against you, how to turn poverty into power, and how to sculpt not just a physique, but an entire legacy. This isn't just a story. It's a masterclass in relentless self-reinvention. To truly grasp the magnitude of where Dwayne The Rock Johnson stands today, we have to go back, way back. Not to the dazzling lights of Hollywood or the roar of the WWE arena, but to the harsh realities of his youth. This wasn't a silver spoon story. This was a tin can story. A story of eviction notices, moving constantly, and sometimes not even knowing where the next meal would come from. His family knew struggle intimately. Imagine being a teenager, full of dreams, full of potential, but your reality is constantly pulling you down. At 14, they were evicted from their small apartment, their belongings, out on the curb. A humiliating, soul-crushing experience. But even then, in that moment of rock bottom, something was stirring within him. A fierce determination that this would not be his destiny, that he would not let his circumstances define his future. This was his first beta moment, where the raw, unpolished version of himself began to encounter the harsh truths of the world. He found solace and purpose in football. He excelled. He poured his frustration, his hunger, his raw ambition into every tackle, every play. He earned a scholarship to the University of Miami, a powerhouse football program. This was it, right? The path to the NFL, to stability, to success. This was the escape hatch from poverty. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Injuries, setbacks. The dream, once so vivid, began to fade. After college, he went undrafted in the NFL. Undrafted. For a kid who had put everything into that dream, it was a brutal blow. He signed a modest contract with the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League, earning a meager $250 a week. This was not the NFL. This was not the empire. This was another beta phase, feeling stuck, feeling like he'd failed. Then came the phone call. Cut. Released. Just 2 days after his first pro game, he was left with nothing but $7 in his pocket. $7. Think about that for a moment. A man with immense talent, incredible physique, and a burning desire to succeed, reduced to nothing but $7. His car was repossessed, his dreams seemingly shattered. This was arguably his lowest beta moment, the kind of moment where most people would throw in the towel. where they would accept defeat and settle for what is. But Dwayne Johnson wasn't in most people. That $7 became more than just a number. It became a powerful symbol. It became the fuel. It became the seed of an idea that would blossom into a billion-dollar empire. He looked at that meager sum, and instead of despair, he found defiance. Instead of quitting, he found a deeper purpose. He knew he had to pivot. He knew he had to reinvent, because the only way out of that beta purgatory was through relentless self-belief and action. With only $7 to his name, most would crumble. Most would retreat into the safe, the predictable. But for Dwayne, that $7 became a brutal, undeniable catalyst. It forced a pivot, a radical shift in direction that in hindsight was the universe's way of pushing him towards his true calling. His father, Rocky Johnson, and his grandfather, Peter Mavia, were both legendary wrestlers. The squared circle was in his blood. Yet, he initially resisted, wanting to forge his own path outside their shadow. But sometimes, the path to becoming a boss isn't about inventing something entirely new, but about mastering what's already within your lineage, but with your own unique twist. He entered the world of professional wrestling, initially as Rocky Mavia, a clean-cut, smiling babyface, borrowing from his family's legacy. The problem? The audience rejected it. They saw through the manufactured persona. They chanted, "Die, Rocky, die." They booed him out of arenas. Imagine putting your heart and soul into something, making a massive leap of faith, only to be met with overwhelming scorn. This was beta mode in its most public and brutal form. He was told to smile more, to be nicer. But deep down, Dwayne knew that authenticity was the only way to truly connect, to truly dominate. This was a pivotal moment. The moment where he could have quit, listened to the noise, and faded into obscurity. But instead, he listened to a different voice, his own. He looked inward. He dug deep into his experiences, his frustrations, his charisma, his inherent ability to connect. He realized that the character the audience was booing wasn't him. It was a watered-down version. And so, The Rock was born. A flamboyant, trash-talking, electrifying persona who embraced the boos, turned them into fuel, and commanded attention like no one else. He started speaking in the third person. He developed catchphrases. He started owning the room, the microphone, the narrative. He understood that to go from beta to boss in any field, you can't just follow the script. You have to write your own. You have to embrace what makes you unique, even if it's raw, even if it's unconventional. He transformed from a polite, hopeful rookie into the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. This wasn't just a character change, it was a mindset shift. He stopped asking for permission and started demanding attention. He stopped being a participant and became the undisputed main event. He transcended the wrestling ring, becoming a cultural phenomenon. Having conquered the world of professional wrestling, becoming an undisputed boss in that arena, most would have been content. Most would have ridden that wave for as long as possible. But The Rock wasn't interested in just a boss. He was interested in being the boss, the ultimate boss of his own destiny. And that meant another, even bolder pivot: Hollywood. His first major role was in The Mummy Returns, a memorable but relatively small part. Then came The Scorpion King, his first lead. And while these early films showed promise, the path was far from smooth. Hollywood is a brutal landscape, notorious for chewing up and spitting out stars, especially those transitioning from other fields. He faced skepticism. He faced the need to prove himself all over again, to transform once more. This was another beta phase, but this time on a global stage, with millions watching. He had to learn a new craft, master a new medium, and adapt his larger-than-life persona to the demands of the silver screen. But here's the key. He didn't just act. He learned. He absorbed. He understood the business. He didn't just wait for roles. He started creating them. He began understanding the power of his brand beyond the physical. He realized that his authenticity, his work ethic, and his undeniable connection with people were assets far more valuable than any script. This wasn't just about making movies. It was about building an empire, one calculated step at a time. He diversified. Beyond acting, he founded $7 Productions with his ex-wife and business partner, Danny Garcia. This wasn't just a vanity project. This was a strategic move to take control of his narrative, to produce the content he believed in, and to ensure he had a stake in the success. He launched his own tequila brand, Terramana, which became one of the fastest-growing spirits brands in history. He invested in countless other ventures. He embraced the power of social media, connecting directly with his millions of fans, building a loyal community that transcends traditional celebrity. What's the lesson here for your from beta to boss journey? It's about relentless expansion. It's about looking beyond the immediate win and seeing the bigger picture. It's about understanding that once you've conquered one peak, there's always another mountain to climb, another industry to impact, another layer of your potential to unlock. True boss mode isn't stagnant. It's a perpetual state of growth, adaptation, and courageous diversification. He understood that his greatest asset wasn't just his muscles or his charisma, but his mindset, the ability to constantly learn, adapt, and never settle. So, what can we take from Dwayne The Rock Johnson's incredible journey from beta to boss? It's not just a feel-good story. It's a masterclass in transformation. Let's break down the blueprint he unintentionally laid out for all of us. First, embrace your $7 moment. We all have them. Those moments of rock bottom, rejection, or failure. Instead of letting them break you, let them fuel you. Let them be the stark reminder of what you don't want and the fierce motivation for what you will achieve. The beta phase isn't a dead end. It's the crucible where true resilience is forged. Second, authenticity is your superpower. When the world booed Rocky Maivia, The Rock emerged. He stopped trying to be what others wanted and leaned into what made him uniquely powerful. What parts of your personality, your story, your unique perspective are you holding back? True power, true connection, comes from owning who you are, flaws and all. Don't hide your beta self. Learn from it and let it define your boss self. Third, the power of the pivot and relentless reinvention. Life won't always go according to your first plan. Football didn't work out. Early wrestling personas didn't click. Early movie roles were small. But at each juncture, he didn't give up. He pivoted. He learned, adapted, and reinvented himself, not just once, but multiple times. Are you willing to pivot? Are you willing to learn a new skill, explore a new path, or even redefine who you are to reach where you need to be? That's the boss mentality in action. Fourth, work ethic as a non-negotiable. There's no secret formula, no magic pill, Dwayne Johnson's success is rooted in an almost superhuman dedication to hard work. The 4 a.m. workouts, the constant hustle, the unwavering discipline. Success isn't handed out. It's earned, rep by rep, hour by hour. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. Fifth, build a brand beyond yourself. He didn't just become an actor, he built an empire. He understood that his greatest asset wasn't just his talent, but his ability to connect with people and create value beyond a single profession. Look for ways to diversify, to leverage your strengths, and to build something that outlasts any single project. Think bigger. Think legacy. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's journey, from those humble beginnings with $7 in his pocket to building a billion-dollar empire, isn't just about his unique charisma or his imposing physique. It's about an unshakable mindset. It's about a relentless belief in the boss that exists within all of us, waiting to be unleashed. His story is a living testament to the fact that your current circumstances, your past failures, your beta moments, they don't define your ultimate destination. They are simply the raw material. They are the fuel for your transformation. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every closed door is an opportunity to forge a new path. So, as you walk away from this video, I want you to remember this. You are not defined by your beta state. You are defined by your relentless pursuit of boss mode. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. It's about pivoting when necessary. It's about tapping into that inner fire that says, I will not be defeated. I will not settle. The world is waiting for your story. The world is waiting for your empire. The question is, are you ready to stop being beta and start becoming the boss you were meant to be? If The Rock's journey ignited something within you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to From Beta to Boss for more blueprints to unlock your potential. And in the comments below, tell us, what's your $7 moment and how are you turning it into your superpower? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Your journey from beta to boss starts now.